Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another fun-filled edition of Southfork. I'm your host, Jet, still viewing and reviewing the soapiest, sudsiest primetime storyline of 1982. We are back in Dallas. So whether you're new to this or true to this, sit back and enjoy. Tell the kids it's time to play outside or out of sight. Tell babe no questions, suggestions, or concerns for the next 25 to 35 minutes. Everyone else in earshot, cool, quiet, or kicked out. Only options you got, baby, because we are watching our stories. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Southfork. Hello, gorgeous. Welcome back to another fun-filled edition of Southfork. We're going to go ahead and jump right in this episode. God, you ever been in a situation where you believe you are the support system, when in actuality you're a prop? That's the kind of stunt Ellie pulls on this episode, and it pisses me off. So go ahead and pour yourself up something bubbly and bright as we jump into Season 5, Episode 11 of Dallas, Waterloo at Southfork. Oh my God, where are my manners? How you doing today, baby? You smell good. I can smell you from here. I hope everybody's day is fantastic. I hope it is shaping up well. And if it's not, forget about it for the next however long I talk. I don't know, 35, 45 minutes, something like that. This episode, there's not a ton going on, but there's a lot of things locking into place. First and foremost, we got this brand new baby appearing at Southfork. Now, this is one of those situations that just broke my heart for good old Boy Scout Bobby. All he wanted to do is finally, and I do mean finally, blow up his brother's spot. That's Bobby's problem. He's always giving people, i.e. his brother, JR, the opportunity to do the right thing when you know good and well he's never going to do that. All he needed to do was burst in the house with this plump, beautiful little baby and say, JR, why don't you take care of your nephew's son? But instead, he burst into his own house. His mom is there. His wife is there. Now he's got to keep this illegally bought baby, but it's also his relative. It's so confusing. There's so much going on. Okay, so let's start at the top of the show. The top of the show picks up exactly where the other one left off, with Pam embracing this beautiful brand new bundle of joy, baby Christopher. She is happy as hell. She is rocking him in John Ross Ewing's third fever dream of a nursery. She don't give a damn. She is joyful. Bobby looks like he's about to vomit. If I was Bobby, I would immediately call Donna Culver and be like, Donna, listen, I respect that you don't have any questions or anything, but didn't I ask you to do one thing? You couldn't get this old lady off the lane. You couldn't drive fast enough to get her down to the Whataburger or whatever. What the hell, Donna Culver? So now he's got to sit up there looking like he's going to pass out or pass gas, one or the other, while Pam head over heels in love with this baby. Pam's like, oh my God, I cannot believe the day I decided to leave the loony bin probably brings me a fresh baby. Oh, happy day. Ellie seems not necessarily disappointed. I guess she's in shock. She's happy, but she's also in shock. And she's also worried because seems like every time somebody brings a baby in this house, something catastrophic happens. So she says, Pamela, why did you leave the loony bin? Pam's like, oh, because I got tired of talking. Basically, I said all I'm going to say. They can ask me questions until the cows come home. I done said everything I need to say. I don't really need to be in there answering inquiries. That's not really my job. I'm not in customer service. And Ellie's like, okay, yeah, that's fair. That's cool. Well, JR comes slinking by the room looking drunk and judgeful. Can't believe somebody brought this bastard into the house. Little do he know that's his bastard. He's not clocking the resemblance. You would think a baby made from two women who share the same parenting or parents, sisters, if you will, with same mama, same daddy, having a baby by the same man. Those kids are going to look a whole lot alike. But, you know, babies do kind of look like whoever you want them to look like for a little while. Anyway, Ellie tells JR, not so fast, not so fast. Don't you slink past this room. Me and you still got to do some talking. So he goes downstairs to make himself a nice, tall, stiff drink. She immediately demands to know, where's all the money in the reserves? What's this I hear about a bill come due in 4 days? WTF, JR. He says, Mama, I'm not either, no point in lying. I did what I had to do what I need to do. She's like, what exactly does that mean? I bought up all the oil in Texas and half the country because I needed to get my boy back. See, the plan, Mama, was to go to Clayton Farlow, dry up all of his business and refineries and whatnot, and he would have no choice but to kick Sue Ellen and my baby off of his property. But he said no, so now I'm in this predicament. She's looking at him up and down like, you idiot. Your daddy left you in charge and this is how you repay him? JR says my daddy told me to do it. I kind of believe him. I actually do. Ellie doesn't. She's like, you lie when the truth sounds better. Even if that were true, did he tell you to bankrupt the entire business to do so? JR's like, yeah, he did. You weren't on the phone. You don't know. Ellie ends up making a trip down to San Angelo to have a reasonable talk with Clayton Farlow, a.k.a. Big Fine Daddy, a.k.a. BDF. BDF and Ellie are cool because BDF, whether you admit it or not, is a messy, messy Texas man. Messy, messy Texas man love a good gossip like anyone else. He loves it when Ellie comes by to visit the baby. He loves it. Sitting out on the porch, kiki-and drinking lemonade. So this is no different. They're having a good old time. And she's like, listen, I'm so sorry. My big dumb son almost lost my house again. BDF, I can't tell you how many times Jock or JR has tried to ruin my life. I can't even tell you. My daddy worked so hard to have this damn ranch. I was kind enough to marry this man and allow him to build a business off of it. But I swear for God, every time I turn around, BDF, they're about to lose my property. So I'm going to need you to buy back some of this oil. What can you do for me? They both know that the value has gone down, but at the end of the day, Clayton Farlow would much rather buy locally than have to outsource his oil from overseas. Mind you, his checkbook can accommodate that, but he'd rather not do it. And plus, he and Ellie are cool. I like you, girl. You like me. Tell you what, baby, I'll take, I think he says 35 or 36, something. He gives her a very, very fair price. So Ellie ends up coming in and saving the day. As Ellie gets up to leave, she asks Clayton why he decided not to kick Sue Ellen off his property. He simply asked her, what would your husband Jock have done? Would he have folded to your son JR and kicked a woman and a fresh baby out off of his property? Ellie says, no, he probably would have told him to go to hell. Clayton Farlow says he and I are exactly the same in that way. And they share a quick little laugh. Let's jump into some bit players before we get too deep into this. I don't want to forget them. So Mitch. Mitch is now an intern or junior doctor. I'm not exactly sure what, but he is working with Chicken Bone Jones, the doctor who is a plastic surgeon in Dallas, Texas. This absolutely stunning woman, and I just mean lovely in the most normal, approachable way. She's sitting in the bed and you can tell she's looking at her face. She's getting a little bit nervous. Mitch comes in. Mitch has a wonderful bedside manner and he's teasing her a little bit because he wants to put her at ease. She said that she has almost walked out of the hospital a couple times. 5 minutes ago, she was almost gone. Dr. Mitch or Dr. Cooper, that everything's going to be okay. He's like, of course it is. She's like, well, I've been reading up on some of the bad things that can happen. I'm impressed, number one, because there's no Google. She did her homework. Mitch twists his face and contorts it in ways that are supposed to be humorous. I guess it would be if I were 5, but it's cute nonetheless. And he says, Mrs. Michelson, don't worry about it. You're in perfect hands. You're going to be wonderful. She's like, am I going to look plastic? He's like, no. He's a great surgeon. Nobody's going to be able to tell. Television or not, this woman is between the ages of 37 and 48. I can't remember exactly how old she said she was. She is not old enough, in my personal opinion, to have a facelift. I don't really understand what she is changing about her face. Young and lovely. And not that youth is the answer here. I'm not going to glorify youth in any way because, like I've said before, it is literally something you can't control. You have no control whatsoever on how old you are. It's bothersome in this. Maybe it's meant to be a little bit ridiculous, but a 37-year-old woman, a 47-year-old woman needing a facelift is laughable. What exactly are we snatching back? Well, she explains, I'm Miss Michelson now. My husband's got a new girlfriend. I'm about to get me a new face. It's going to be a whole new life. I'm so excited. I'm like, baby girl, you don't need to change nothing. But Mitch does a really good job of putting her mind at ease. So it seems like he is getting more and more comfortable with his new role as a doctor, plastic surgeon specifically. She's so young. She's so young. It's just weird. The more I think about it, the more I say it out loud, I bet it's meant to be ridiculous. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel better. I'm going to get over it. People have surgery for all different reasons. I choose to believe they're bringing this into the story to either make Mitch fall in love with her. There seems to be a little bit of chemistry there, or I don't even know what else. I hope he doesn't botch her face. That would suck. Okay, well, speaking of youth and beauty, Afternoon Delight makes her triumphant return to Dallas. Apparently, she's been in Biloxi visiting Mitch and she's mama. And she needs to be back in Dallas. Do you know who she calls? Mr. You're Nothing But a Loser. Mr. I'm drawing a blank on Cliff Barnes' name. Cliff Barnes. Cliff Barnes, I'm back in Dallas and I want you to know about it. Mitch is still staying in that penthouse apartment, y'all. Mitch, I hate money. Don't mind living in a free house. That's okay, though. It's okay, Mitch. Afton and Mitch do have a quick little conversation about Lucy. Apparently, Lucy and almost said Adam. Ooh, that'd be a cute couple. Lucy and Mitch are talking again, and she is apparently no longer Miss Young Dallas, who spent all her time in Houston. And that's really it. So they're just kind of, I guess they're setting up something for Afton, and they're setting up something for Mitch. See, I feel like it's probably a new love interest. Maybe this woman won't have the surgery. Yeah, that has to be it. Like it just seems like an unlikely candidate who must know that she's still very stunning. Speaking of not loving money or not being comfortable with the woman having a lot of money, Ray Krebs got on my last nerve this episode along with his play mama, Miss Ellie. JR talks a lot of crap about Ray and about his black Ellie. Talks a lot of crap about loving the land, this, that, and the third, and how important that is. So you get to see the difference between the oil people and the cattle people, all within the same family. JR talks a lot of trash, but that doesn't mean he's not speaking truthfully. I'm not saying that Ray doesn't have the business acumen, but I think what Ray lacks is the humility in reaching out for help. He obviously knew how to run a business. This is what I always go back to this with Ray. If you are running the ranch, that's more than just pushing animals to and fro, kicking over turds and whatnot. You are actually running a business. You're running a rather unpredictable business. Those skills they're gonna cross over. His problem with this is that he wanted to go solo dolo. He wanted to prove to the world that he is a true Ewing, even though he don't want to use the last names. When last we left, Ellie and he had discovered that there wasn't enough money to loan him in the way that they thought it was. Like Ellie obviously has the Ewing name. She has a huge ranch. She has the collateral in place to get a loan. But Ray is like, no, I'm not going to let you do that. I'll figure this out on my own. So he goes back to the drawing board being nowhere at all. He does absolutely nothing other than sulk. He goes back to the bank, talks to his lawyer, and decides, you know what? The money ain't going to come through. I'm going to go ahead and have to sell this. He's devastated. And I get it, Ray. You wanted to do this all on your lonesome. I don't really consider this a fail, considering he's been so helpful with the other buildings. But he does. He's only failing, though, because he's not being honest with Donna. And this part is annoying, too. Donna is more than aware of what is going on with Ray, because it doesn't take a whiz to figure out that this mofo is tripping because he needs some more money. Instead of just asking her for it, he chooses to be prideful. So he eventually gets a sale in place. Like his lawyer knows who to ask. He reaches out to a guy. The guy's like, I'll give you $4 million for it. So he makes back the money that he and Donna put into it. He doesn't actually lose any money. It seems like all is well, but he's going to walk around sulking for the rest of the episode. He and Donna get into a fight one morning over breakfast. Thing is, it's not even a new fight. It's the same thing that broke them up the last time, except at this point, Donna has had it. Ray, why didn't you just tell me about this? Why couldn't you talk to me? I thought I'm your wife. We're supposed to be partners. He talking about, every time I try to prove that I don't need your help, it gets thrown back in my face. Mind you, she said no. He's still insecure. I get where he's coming from, because he's like, I don't want to just be cowboy who runs a ranch. I want to be more than that, which is fine. Be aspirational. She wasn't even trying to tell him how to run his business. Now, I know it sounds like I'm taking sides. I am. This is a ridiculous argument, dude. This is dumb. You had the opportunity to remedy this and you didn't say nothing. You'd rather just sit there and lose it and then have an attitude. It's one thing if you're going to lose it. Don't have an attitude about it. So she's like, damn it, Ray, how many times do I have to, what else do I have to do to prove that I love you? I know you love me, but every time I look at you, I see you got the looks. Yes, she does. You got the brains. Got that too. The money, facts, brains. You can even write a book. Mind you, Ray ain't read nothing since the Bernstein Bears way back in the day. And I guarantee you it's going to be a bestseller. And all I'll be is a cowboy who runs a ranch. Damn it, Ray. Know your place. Stay in your lane. Play to your strengths. The only reason Donna Culver wants you is because you are a dumb cowboy. You are ruining the fantasy. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Some people think they're bigger than the program. There's nothing wrong with being aspirational, but the appeal with you, Ray Krebs, is that you Vaseline yourself from head to toe every day. You chop wood in the middle of Texas, which nobody needs. And damn it, you're a cowboy. That's exactly what she wants. Let the girl be pretty and rich and write her little book in your little cabin. You just keep riding horses and then you can build buildings on the side if you want to. She is willing to give you the money, but he wants to have an argument. We got to add a little bit more dimension to this kid. He was really annoying. He's annoying the rest of the episode too because all he does is sulk. Ellie even talks to him at some point. Now that she's fixed this whole pickle that JR has gotten her into, she tells him, Ray, I have some really great news. I'm able to loan you the money. It's a day late and $1 short. Unfortunately, that's not a possibility. But I think the fact that two wealthy women have tried to help him only makes him makes him feel more insecure. Dude, you know who else is insecure? Bobby, and he has every reason to be. He goes to see Dr. Conrad, I guess just to smooth things over and to probably make sure it's okay that Pam's home. Dr. Conrad's like, listen, it is a freaking miracle that you brought that baby just when you did. What are the odds? Same day she leaves here, same day you bring the baby. He's like, yeah, it does kind of feel like a miracle. She's a totally different person, doctor. I can't even tell you how incredible and instant the transformation was. She's back to her old self. She looks healthy. She looks amazing. Dr. Conrad says, you're lucky, dude. She's on dangerous ground. I hate to even think about what would happen had you not had that baby right then and there. So now this kid is sweating bullets even more. Oh, crap. I can't take the baby at this point. It's too late. There's literally nothing. He's got to figure out what the hell to do. So he goes to his homeboy, who's actually a lawyer. And the homeboy up until now, I think, believed that Bobby had knocked up some broad, had this baby, and was trying to figure out a way to, number one, make sure people couldn't figure out he was a dad, and number two, figure out what to do with the kid after the fact. I think this episode, he's starting to put the puzzle pieces together a little bit better, but the news is bleak. He says, is Bobby still saying, well, my friend, hypothetically. So Bobby's lawyer friend tells him, I would tell your friend that he's playing with fire. Like, this kid is not legally adopted. I don't really know how to work around this. Bobby's like, oh my God, could you please just look into it? The friend says, okay, yeah, this isn't hopeless. I'll dig into it, but this is not my area of expertise. I'm not that kind of lawyer. I'll dig into it. I'll do some research and I'll let you know. So you and I and the rest of the people who've never seen this will find this out on the next episode. What happens with baby Christopher? Ooh, I'm really concerned about this. Shout out to the writers, because if JR finds out that that is his son, I do not believe that he would want to keep that a secret, considering he doesn't have John Ross there. If Sue Ellen finds out who this baby is, which I feel like eventually she's going to have to, because she's going to be wondering where her sister's baby is eventually, right? She's going to put two and two together. Is this a secret they can keep from Ellie? And then think about this. If the kids ever show up in the same place at the same time, which I'm assuming they have to because of Jesse Metcalf, if they show up together at the same time, somebody's going to be like, those kids look identical to each other. But we're going to find out what happens on the next episode. I forgot to mention that Pam is psychologically, subconsciously probably picking up on this a little bit, because she comes into the bedroom when Bobby is, I guess he's about to get ready for bed. I don't know. I was a little bit distracted because he has on a black shirt and it's opened just like Chase Giaberti from Falcon Crest. Chesticles all out. He looks worried. So I was distracted, but not like really. Pam comes in and she hugs him. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe we have baby Christopher. I can't believe he's all ours. And Bobby's like, yeah, he's ours. And she goes, he has dark blue eyes. Do you think they'll turn brown? Bobby's like, I don't think that's how biology works. So I don't know. Why? Because I want him to look just like you. Wow, he already looks like a Ewing, doesn't he? Bobby very cleverly says, I think he looks like who he is. Ellie comes into their room right after this, and I'm like, damn, you don't knock? I understand this is her house, but if you want all of your adult children to live there and they're married, maybe a rat-a-tat-tat from the hallway would work. Maybe an intercom system at Southfork would work. Maybe yelling down the hall. But she comes right off into their bedroom. Bobby, I need you to come downstairs. I need your opinion for something. And this is where she begins to piss me off. But before we get to that, we need to go back just a little bit. When Ellie had gone down to San Angelo to talk to Big Daddy Farlow or Big Fine Daddy with BDF, BFD, whoever, when she was talking to Clayton, one of the last things he said to her was, isn't it funny, Ellie, all that wheeling and dealing that your son JR did, and it doesn't even matter because Sue Ellen left the ranch anyway. And Ellie's like, what? Where is she? Guess he tells her she's in a hotel. She went into town somewhere. She don't live there no more. So it didn't really matter. Ellie has been a staunch supporter of Sue Ellen throughout this entire thing. I'm very impressed with all parties involved. Nobody on this show feels like the baby needs to be taken away from his mother, despite her having a little bit of a drinking problem. And I respect that from Ellie, especially because she knows who this woman is. She also knows the craft that her son has pulled, so she's not going to be one of those women who says, my son is always right. No, she can't do that. Plus, he done screwed the farm over more times in a little bit. She got to put her foot down. She does tell JR a little bit later on in the show, which really annoys me, but I suppose there's no harm, no foul. Remember during all of this, Sue Ellen does leave the ranch. She leaves the Southern Cross. Clayton Farlow tells her, if you need anything at all, you just reach out to your boy. I got you. He's very fond of her. It's almost like she's a daughter he never had. He goes to visit Sue Ellen and John Ross Ewing III in their fabulous hotel room. Now, from the outside, the hotel looks like a kick dough. I was very devastated. I'm like, oh my God, why isn't she staying in something super nice? I'm willing to bet in San Angelo, 1982, there's definitely not like a Hilton or anything. It was the best hotel they could find. But it is very, very nice inside. It has one of those glass tables. I'm going to say it's brass, where it's brass legs and trim, and then the middle is glass. Guys, back in the day, I remember being a little girl, and if I went into somebody's house for the first time and they had one of those glass tables and any sort of brass furniture, I knew without a shadow of a doubt that the woman of the house was not only glamorous. She didn't wear drugstore makeup. She wore department store makeup. But I knew she had a perfect, pristine, envy-worthy perfume collection. I don't know why there's a correlation between brass furniture and fabulous, expensive perfumes, but there is. Quote me on that. So anyway, Clayton Farlow, he makes an excuse. He comes over with a tiny little box saying, oh, you left some of your things. You can tell he just misses her. He really wants to offer his support. He knows that Sue Ellen is about to have to face JR in court. He probably has a hunch that this is not going to go well. If a man's willing to buy up all the oil in Texas and bankrupt his family just in order to get this kid back, it's probably not going to be a pretty sight in the courtroom. So he wants to offer his support. I want to show that little turd that I ain't scared of him. I'm here to support you, baby girl. Whatever you need, you just come let me know. And she says, I really would love that so much, but here's the tea. JR and I are going to have a very, very ugly divorce. If I know him like I think I know him, he's going to humiliate me. And I really want you to see me the same way you do now. I don't want you to hear some things in court and despise me for it. Apparently, Dusty is off on the rodeo circuit now, living his best life. Temporarily, I bet. Daddy Farlow still wants to be in the picture. I got you. Whatever you need, girl, just pick up the phone. If you change your mind, I'm going to be there to help you. She's like, I appreciate it. He really just wanted to see the baby in her. He really did. Okay, let's move on to Ellie. So Ellie has gotten the money squared away thanks to Farlow. She is prepared to tell the rest of the cartel that the Ewings are back and don't y'all ever in your life doubt us again. Okay, cool. Whatever. She confronts them all. Cliff is very much disappointed because he was looking forward to really sticking it to JR. But if nothing else, he's got, what is it, Ewing 6 or 5 or 7? He's got Ewing whatever. He's got an oil well now. So fast forward back to Ellie bursting into Bobby and Pam's marital bedroom to tell Bobby to hurry up, doing what you're doing with your wife. I need you downstairs for a little something. Well, the little something turns out to be what should be a very big meeting. Since Ellie is back at the helm of Ewing Oil, or at the helm, I shouldn't say back. She never wants to be at the helm. And JR pulled this little stunt that almost cost him a fortune. Somebody has got to do something. And the somebody are all the shareholders of Ewing Oil, minus John Ross Ewing III, who is chilling in peach carpet and brass furniture. Ellie calls this meeting, makes JR sit down and says, family, I want y'all in here. We need to go ahead and vote on JR. This is what he did. He bought up a bunch of oil. He bought up a bunch of tanks. He hoarded said oil. Price dropped. We almost lost his damn house again because of a deal he made again. He did it so that Sue Ellen would be smoked out of the Southern Cross and have to come back down here with the baby. What does the family think of that? Everybody's looking at him in disgust, and everybody is the North Texas Soul Leader herself, Lucy. We have the recently 4-time millionaire Ray Krebs, and Bobby with his V-neck looking like Chase Gioberti, or trying his best. He doesn't really come that close. He tries. They're all shocked to hear about this. They're even more shocked that they need to vote instantly on this information that Ellie has been sitting on. And she's pissed. JR is clearly drunk. Let's start voting. JR, what's your vote? And he's like, obviously I vote to keep myself in. She's like, that's cute. Bobby, what's your vote? Bobby's like, I got a lot on my mind right now. Can I hold off on mine? She's like, yeah, fine. So Bobby holds 20%, JR holds 30%. So 30% yes is a majority right now. Ellie looks to Lucy, who couldn't wait. She looks at JR, rolls her eyes and said, you already know what I'm thinking. Fired. He's out. So that's 10% that says no. Ray Krebs can't stand JR. And JR already tried to buy him out. He's like, yeah, go on and put me in there with Lucy. I also vote to kick him out. John Ross isn't there. So Ellie looks to the family, looks to JR, and she says, you know what, JR? I vote for you too. I vote yes. Which pisses me off. I'm not a mathematician or anything, but Ellie has 40% of the vote. She was going to say yes regardless, and she knew JR was going to say yes. So you already had the 70 wait, I messed up on my math. So maybe she doesn't have 30%? Or maybe JR doesn't have 30%. Maybe JR has 20%. That makes more sense. If JR has 20, Bobby has 20, Ellie has, oh God, this is stressful. Ellie has 30. John Ross, Ray, and Lucy have 30 together. So yeah, okay, there we go. Bobby and JR would each have to have 20%. So my point is, with Ellie's 30, with baby boy's 10, and JR's 20, that was a majority vote anyway. She walked in knowing that she was going to keep him at the helm, but she just wanted to teach him a lesson. This is like showing up to a work meeting only to say, well, we have a bunch of things on the agenda, but those are all to be announced. So why the hell are we having a meeting? Why did you call me in here? Send an email if you have an idea. I know this is 1980. This could have been a discussion at dinner real quick, a threat. JR effed up, family. You all have the right to vote him in or out. JR pull another stunt. We're going to vote your behind out. It could have been as simple as that. But Ellie is like, I don't really want the responsibility of running Ewing Oil. I want to continue to go to the ladies of the Alamo, which makes no sense in Dallas, and lunch and look pensively out over the swimming pool while I drink my morning tea. That's literally all I want to do. Why pull the meeting then, Ellie? Also, how embarrassing is that mommy had to come and save JR? You know what? It's not embarrassing to him because he is a wheeler and dealer. This is what I'm talking about. This is the difference between him and Ray. It's not that JR is humble enough to ask for money. It's that he is shameless enough to ask for money. It's not that Ray isn't business savvy and it doesn't know how to work the numbers. It's just that when an unknown comes up, he doesn't have the, it wouldn't be humility. He didn't have the boldness to go ahead and fail forward, or he doesn't have the humility that would be required to go to his wife and say, I'm a little bit embarrassed, but I know we're in this together. This is what happened. Nobody's going to judge you for this. Like, the way Ray's deal fell apart and the way JR's did are two totally, completely different things. Ray couldn't have predicted this. Yeah, he could have got a test or two done, but that's a lesson learned. I guarantee you he's not going to repeat it. I guarantee you JR will have jeopardized his family's fortune again and again and again. Okay, now that that's out of the way, we got to get down to this courthouse because JR has got to wheel and deal himself back into a custodial parent role. Now that he's back running things, the only thing he wants to focus on is getting John Ross Ewing III back on to the property. He knows He knows that Sue Ellen is out there willy-nilly in Dolo, so it'd be real easy to pull a good old boy stunt like he did with the Vidalia Onion Queen and go kidnap his son. He could do that, but he's got to be on the straight and narrow. He's got too many eyes on him. His mama knows that. Maybe that's why she told him. She probably told him that Sue Ellen is no longer with Clayton Farlow, but also I'm keeping an eye on you. So if that baby just turns up here out of nowhere, don't think I won't ruin your life, because I will. JR decides that he's going to play dirty, but he's going to do it legally this time. He says, lawyer, I want you to look at every nook and cranny of Sue Ellen's personal life, and I want you to drag it all out. They have a lineup of witnesses, not limited to some of the nurses at the insane asylum that she was in. The nurse that caught her with the boozy mouthwash. I think they've got Dr. Elby. I can't remember who else. But they will subpoena Dusty if need be, which might be why he's on the road. It might not be. It doesn't seem like he's aware of it. Let his dad tell it. But they are prepared to bring in several witnesses to testify to her instability and why this baby should be with JR. Even if that's not the people's intention, it's JR plans on it looking like that. He wants it to be filthy McNasty, only at the last minute he decides not to do that. That's not 100% sure. He doesn't just hold off. He holds off so that when he goes to court, he can tell Sue Ellen face to face what he is prepared to do. For whatever reason, I guess because it's Dallas, I guess because he's a Ewing, or the courthouse is crawling with paparazzi. I'm talking 50 or 60 different paps shooting from all angles, camera crews there. It's a madhouse. You'd think they were in LA or something, not in Dallas. Sue Ellen shows up. She's wearing black and white. She's got her hair tucked into her hat. I got a little bit nervous because that looks almost like the same outfit she wore when she was arrested and put in the clink. But I guess this is her taking her power back. I'm going to wear this black and white. I'm going to walk in here with my head held high. I look like a modern Eliza Doolittle. JR does convince her to have a quick little chatter, chit. And he tells her what he's prepared to do. My darling, I have dozens and dozens and dozens of witnesses prepared to tell the whole world that you are a tramp, a drunk, and an unfit mother. You can walk away from this now, give me my boy back, I'll let you live. But if you don't, I promise you, I will fight you until the end of time. I will fight you day and night. I will keep you tied up in litigation for years. And I got the money to do it. You don't. He's doing all this because he knows that she's no longer under the umbrella of protection that is Clayton Farlow and do dirt dudes at the good old-fashioned Southern Cross. She starts to get a little bit nervous as she thinks about this, because she hadn't thought about this being drug out. She knew he was going to call her a drunk, a tramp, and an unfit mother. He does it every day. That's just a regular Tuesday. But on today, that could be quite embarrassing. You mean to tell me you will continue to drag this out? Okay, they make it into the courthouse. They're sitting down. It's a little bit noisy. I guess the proceedings go. Ellie comes in and JR spots her, and it's almost as if he thinks she's there to support him, but what he's not clocking is that she goes and she sits over on Sue Ellen's part, behind Sue Ellen. So he doesn't end up airing out all of her filthy, dirty laundry in court, and the judge surprises everyone by giving this little speech saying, these are modern times, and we understand that it is traditional for a child to be put with their mother, but we don't necessarily believe that fathers are not able to be successful single parents as well. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and give this baby to Sue Ellen. She is going to be the full custodial parent. JR, you can have visitations every other weekend. You're going to see this baby 4 days a month, and you're going to like it. Oh, by the way, child support is $6,000, and y'all know how I love the rate of exchange from ago. So $6,000 in 1982 is the equivalent of $20,866.66 per month. Cha-ching! Isn't her alimony about $6,000 as well? So she's looking at about $40K a month. What's that 50 Cent song? Have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire. Have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire. She hit the jackpot. I'm so happy for her. Girl, you better get that money. This is excellent news. Now, I doubt he's gonna roll over. I doubt that very seriously. But so far, so good. Like I said, not a whole bunch happened on this episode, but they're definitely stacking up the next story. All right, guys, that's it. That's all. I want to watch me a little bit of something else now, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into that. You enjoy the rest of your day. Keep your head up, my love. Join me next time as we jump back into some more vintage primetime soap opera. You can always reach out to me in the show notes if you're listening on your mobile device. Feel free to send a voice note, or you can send me a text. If you prefer doing things the old-fashioned way, I do too. Go ahead and send your girl an email. I can be found at soap. Send your emails to soaplorepodcast@gmail.com. That's soaplorepodcast@gmail.com. In the meantime, in between time, if you're going to buy a baby on the black market who is also your nephew, have somebody jot down a fake receipt or something, or at least come up with an elaborate story about a stork. Stay hydrated, stay moisturized, mind your own business, and keep all of your drama on TV.